Absolutely everybody is talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to DiabloCast. It is Friday, February 17th, just a few days after lovely, lovely Valentine's Day. Happy to be here talking some more Diablo. Of course, I'm your host, Dennis Force Duhamel. With me this week, Kevin Sixon Carlino. Hello, sir.
What's going on, guys?
And you're asking me for stuff already. I've seen that message, this guy. We're about to start a live cast, and Kevin's sending me messages, distracting me. Unbelievable. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about this week, I do suppose. First and foremost, we're going to be just going over a few administrative stuff. Recent wallpaper from Blizzard, the Valentine's Day gift they gave us. Also, the fan site betas, as I am most certain that you all know about as of now. If not, we'll go over that. There was a recent tech conference that Kevin will be talking about. We'll also mention the Diablo 3 skill tree, patch number 13 coming up, rune info also coming soon, and then changes to the auction house. And this is actually going to be a pretty interesting topic. Looking forward to that. So you guys will have to sit tight for the end of the podcast. Let's go into the first topic, which is going to be wallpapers and Valentine's Day gifts. So sweet, so sweet. So Blizzard has a new wallpaper available for us, and that wallpaper is going to be of the man himself, Mr. Diablo. Kevin, do you have this wallpaper on your desktop yet?
I actually shared it on Facebook.
You did what?
I did the whole share thing on Facebook and tagged my girlfriend in it on Valentine's Day.
On the wallpaper?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Are you talking about the Valentine's Day stuff?
Are you even listening? No, we're talking about...
Yeah, you said Valentine's Day.
Wallpaper. Do you have the wallpaper on your background?
Well, now I feel like an idiot. But whatever. I know, I was thinking about getting that one, and then I was thinking, hell, maybe I'll get the Tyrael one. But like I was saying before we started, I'm still using the old Tristram wallpaper of the broken down cathedral that I think we got during the Facebook assets kind of promotion.
And just so people can see how amazing it looks, here is my desktop with all video garbage on it and multiple games and StarCraft replays, 75 internet browsers, all that wonderful stuff. Yeah, this looks good. I like it. This is probably my favorite wallpaper for Diablo that they've released so far. I'm a fan.
Inside the mind of Force.
Yeah, you don't want to go. Don't want to go there.
I get lost.
We also got on February 14th, good old Valentine's Day, some Valentine's Day presents from Blizzard. So kind of them 3 little pieces of our artwork. I don't know if we know who they were made by, actually.
I'm probably just gonna go out on a limb and say Sammy, but
you think so?
Yeah, probably. He always does the Christmas stuff. So, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing that out there.
So we got Diablo with his little heart saying, "Be mine for all eternity," and obviously that's not actually really kind of him. He wants to steal your soul, so be careful for that. And then 2 others. What do we have? Is it the Lord of Anguish and Gluttony? Is that what that is? I know this is.
Yes.
I think this guy's Gluttony. A guy with a mouth for a stomach. Like he can't even wait for it to go down his passage from the mouth. Normally in the head, you have to wait for food to get down to your stomach, but this guy, he goes straight to the point. And I think this is Anguish.
It's Belial and Asmodon.
Right. Yeah, but like the Lord. What's their
Sins, lies, aren't they?
I think so.
Lord of Lies and Lord of Sins or something.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
And also K2G. I don't know who that is, but that's the person that did the.
I don't think that's Samwise.
No, it's not.
I am going to go out on a limb and say that is not Samwise. It's all right though. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know we have a new wallpaper as well as, of course, the new wonderful Valentines from Blizzard. Next up, actual important stuff, fan site betas, beta key giveaways. So obviously you know by now there are beta key giveaways going on. What you might not know is that this is happening on a multitude of fan sites. I'm sure there's some of you out there who don't know that, so I'm letting you know now. I am not the only person giving out beta keys. A lot of the major Diablo 3 fan sites got the same number of keys, 450 keys to give away. People are doing various contests. I decided to just do it all in one big contest. But if you head on over to Diablo3.com, you go to forums. I'm just going to show it here in case people are wondering how to do this. Then general discussion, and then right there, one of the sticky posts at the top is fan site beta key giveaways. And there are giveaways on Blizz Planet, D3DB, D3 Sank, Diablo fans, 4 Strategy Gaming, that's the best, and then Reddit Diablo. So all of these places are doing beta key giveaways. So if you've only trying to get mine, then why don't you go flood some of those other guys? That would be great. I'd appreciate it. Lots of people asking questions about it too. I just want to clear up a few things if you guys haven't heard yet. Lots of people, well, not lots of people, but there were a group of people that for some reason weren't getting confirmation emails when they registered for the beta. I need to tell you, I announced this yesterday in a video. You don't have to worry about that. If you don't have the confirmation email, you still have it. You still are in the drawing to get a beta key from me. So don't worry if you haven't received the confirmation email. And people are also asking, like, when I'm announcing it and stuff. It's just going to be randomly throughout the day. You just have to keep an eye on my Facebook or Twitter account, and I'll announce when today's winners have been basically announced. And then also
so
one last thing. What's up, Kevin?
Yeah, make sure you just never leave your house,
Yeah.
because the moment you leave your house,
I mean, it doesn't,
obviously
like,
he's going to announce it.
If you win, you win. You don't have to know about it right away. Obviously, people are
Well,
anxious.
why would you not want to know about it right
I know.
away?
Obviously, people are anxious and they do want to know right away. One last thing I want to mention, too. I just have to let people know this. There's a list of the daily winners at this tab at the top. If you think you see your name, just check your email, please. I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying that they won because they saw their name, but there's a lot of Chad S's. And there's a lot of Tim B's as well. If you win, what happens is I personally send an email to that person. And then after everyone gets their email, this list goes up. This list is just to show people, hey, today's winners have been selected. So if you think you see your name, just check your email. Whatever email you registered with for the beta key giveaway, I will personally send you an email if you win. If it's not there and you think you see your name, that's a giant tease, and I'm sorry. But it's someone else that has the same first name and last initial as you. It's happening. So I just wanted to throw it out there. I had to let people know. But enough blabbering about mine. Again, there are lots of other giveaways going on other Diablo fan sites, so go check them out. You can increase your chances to win tenfold or however many fold. There are a number of contests here. Yeah. Kevin, have you entered the contest yet?
I was thinking about it, but then I thought, if I actually won,
then you realized you have a beta key, so that would be incredibly rude. Yeah, so really cool, and I guess we can just talk about this for a minute. They're hyping things up here. This is pretty big. Besides the 100,000 keys they recently gave away, having this contest is pretty awesome. Oh, and these contests, since they are beta keys, they're applicable anywhere. It's like not just U.S. residents or whatever. So anyone can, yeah.
While we're on that subject, PC, it's works for PC and Mac.
Yes,
I can't tell you how many
PC
times
and
I've gotten
Mac
that
as
question.
well. Yeah. So I mean, what do you think about this, Kevin? You think that I mean, I've got my spidey senses are tingling here.
Yeah, man.
I think we're getting really close. I said this 7 months ago, but
yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. I would love to think that we're getting close, but we thought that the last 2 times.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like they're stress testing, obviously, especially because they released that little statement saying that they wanted to stress test the auction house and they'd be putting extra strain on it, I'm assuming through their own servers and whatnot, automated programs or whatever on server side. But, I mean, at the same time, the next day they come out and give, like 2,000 keys out to fan sites? Actually, more than that, right? There's got to be like 8 of them.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know if I talked about this. Was this with the last podcast, or this might have been last week when Jesse was here? We talked about how this is, whether or not they want to call it stress testing, it is stress testing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They're flooding their servers with a lot more new people, new players, and they're stress testing the servers. I mean, that's what's happening. Whether or not, again, they want to call it a literal stress test, it is a stress test by default. Stress is being applied to the servers. So
yes, servers don't stay up. They obviously need to see a doctor.
Right. Yes. So there you go. Lots of beta keys all around. Again, go to Diablo3.com. Go to the forums. and go to the general forums and then click on the Fansite Beta Key Giveaways topic written by Bashiok. It is sticky at the top of the forum page, and you can see a full list of all the fan sites and all of their giveaways. And good luck to all of you. That's all I have to say. Kevin, you've got some pretty interesting news, I guess, for people as well. A recent technology conference. You want to tell people all about that?
Yeah, sure. So it was the Goldman Sachs Tech Conference. They did it, I want to say, Tuesday morning. And essentially what it was is an Activision Blizzard conference call, just only for Goldman Sachs. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't the Activision Blizzard conference call.
And why don't you tell people what Goldman Sachs is for the less privy?
I believe Goldman Sachs is a bank, but if I'm wrong, I'll look like an idiot. So I'm Googling it really fast. Yes, investment banking and security firm.
Right.
Right.
Well, the
So
point
they're
is
just-
that they're
Yes.
invested in Activision Blizzard.
Right, so they had Thomas Tipple come and talk at their tech conference, and I want to say that he was the only person that talked there. Whether or not Blizzard only recorded their own guy and released that, because I just listened to it right through the Activision Blizzard conference or Activision Blizzard website. They just had a download of it afterward, so I kind of just ran through it. It was about 40 minutes long, nothing big. Basically, he just kind of reiterated the fact that Diablo 2 is still, or Diablo 3, sorry, is still coming in quarter 2. Went over the auction house and whatnot more with the investors, talked about how, actually it was kind of interesting because he talked about the financial, I want to say equation, but he kind of just talked about the logic between or behind giving World of Warcraft for 12 months along with Diablo 3 for free.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Obviously, that's something that investors were wondering. Like, what are you guys
Right.
doing?
Right. So I mean, and after he talked about it, it kind of made sense. So he was like, yeah, okay, think World of Warcraft. We make on average about $180 for the entire year. Diablo 3, we're going to sell for $60. So that's $240, assuming people buy a year of WoW and Diablo 3 separately. That's $240 for the year.
Right.
So what they did was they're doing it. They're recognizing it as a 25% discount. So monthly, users get a 25% discount off of World of Warcraft, and then when Diablo 3 comes out, they get a 25% discount off of that, and that
Sure.
ends up adding up to $180.
Gotcha.
So essentially, what they're doing is they're kind of giving Diablo 3 away for free, but it also kind of it equals the same exact thing if they were to just give a quarter discount off every month for WoW and then Diablo 3 on top of that. So that's how they're going to recognize it, because then it shows that Diablo 3 sold way more than it actually did because they're giving it out for free to all these people that purchased a WoW subscription. And already I believe it's over 1 million.
I think, and you know, obviously, the other thing too is that getting people involved in Diablo by default means getting them involved in the auction house for the most part.
That's very year of WoW and give away Diablo 3 for free. It also ensures that once Diablo 3 comes out, people will still have WoW. So whether or not they've talked about publicly, if they're afraid that Diablo 3 might cannibalize WoW, as people have been saying a lot lately, well, now that if you purchase the annual subscription, annual pass, whatever they call it, then they are ensuring that you're going to have World of Warcraft for X amount of months after Diablo 3 comes out.
Yeah.
Because because most people would just stop paying for the subscription and get Diablo 3 and then, play D3 until they're done with it. Until if they want to get WoW again. But with this annual pass, now you've got both.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly true. In fact, with that said, it's even more of an incentive for them to release it as early as possible.
Right, exactly, because every month earlier they release it, the more months people have playing WoW. Like the more extra left over,
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I don't really know. There's really not much to say about that. That's definitely true. Because I foresee that even if it wasn't people canceling forever, people would probably, when Diablo 3 came out, a lot of people would probably cancel for at least a couple months.
Right.
So this makes it so that they're playing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, whether or not they even play World of Warcraft, they still have the subscription. So Blizzard says, well, we still have X amount of subscribers. We haven't lost any due to Diablo 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Which, I mean, I'm sure they will, just because people might not buy the annual pass, but the point is, the logic behind the annual pass is to keep people playing or subscribing to WoW.
Yeah. Whether they like it or not.
Yes.
Whether they like it or not. Next up in discussion, D3 skill trees. People, this has been happening for a while. People talking about the skill system in the game and talking about the fact that you don't have to reroll characters, and people frustrated by that fact. People want to, I want a frost-focused wizard, and I want a battle mage wizard, right? So I should have to level 2 characters. No. I mean, that's not going to be the case here, and they don't want it to be the case. And Bashok posted a response essentially saying that, I understand some people like this. I'm actually one of those people who likes the leveling process, but we don't think we should have to force people to re-level a character just because they want to try something new. Kevin, how do you feel about that?
I'm in complete agreement with that. I actually like this, and I mean, I'm kind of surprised that this is just coming up now, at least from an employee. I mean, Bashak just commenting on this now. We've been talking about this for the longest amount of time, since BlizzCon, because people were complaining about the 10 character limit. Well, there's no reason to have any more than 10 characters, because you can just change whatever it is that, you can just change your entire build and just keep the items in the shared stash, which they shrunk.
Right. Well, I was just going to say with that, that the only real justification for wanting more characters now, besides having one of each class for each sex, is going to be, I need more to Mule because they shrunk my damn shared stash.
Yeah.
You sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's kind of a little disappointing, but I mean, yeah, like, the justification is there. I mean, with 10 characters, it allows you either 2 of each class and 1 of each gender, or 5 softcore and 5 hardcore. So, I mean, there's really no necessity to have any more than that.
Yeah.
And that's just because you can completely change your build right on the spot.
Right.
So, I mean, everything that he's saying completely makes sense. And actually, and I can't tell you how many times I've said this, which is kind of why I'm happy that he's commenting on this, just so now I don't look like an idiot when I look back on my posts. I mean, yeah, if you really, really want to level your characters, feel free to delete them and then remake them. Either that, or just pretend you're leveling in your head and go through the game again. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. I agree with it. I like this change. I mean, for me, it was such... I mean, when I played Diablo 2... my cousin actually wanted me to play Diablo 2 with him this weekend, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. Like, I get on Diablo 2, it's not Diablo 3. I hate playing through the game. It's just such a pain. Like, I get in, I just want to get rushed so I can just complete the game and start leveling and start playing, the character that I actually want to play, instead of this low-level piece of crap with no items because I can't wear anything,
Right. I mean, yeah. This is an old argument. This is something we've talked about for a long time now, because the skill system has been the way it is for a while. At least the fact that it's not a skill tree. You're able to swap your skills, and you don't have to make a new character. And sure, and the interesting thing is that if people, like, you're not forced to make a new character, but if people want to, they still can. Like, if you really feel like leveling again, then go ahead. I think the argument against it is, like, listen, if that's fine if that's what you want to do. Feel free to continue to level characters, even if you don't have to. But you shouldn't have to force other players to have to re-level a character every time they want to try something new just because you think that is necessary. Because it's not necessary. And, like, in what person's mind is this, like, yes, and you know what I also don't understand? It's not like there was respecing in D2.
Yeah, they kind of, yeah. They added it in like 1.13 for that exact reason, and I thought that was awesome because,
but that's the thing. Like, it happened in Diablo 2, not when the game was first out, but it happened in Diablo 2. Once respecing was around, you never had to level, you weren't ever forced to level another character.
Right.
Of the same class. You could just respec if that's what you wanted to do. So, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's certainly an interesting argument, and I guess I can see where people are coming from. But, it isn't necessary. And if you still want to level new characters, feel free.
Right, you can if you really want to. And I mean, that's...
just pick your skills once, never switch them, and level another character. Go nuts. No one's stopping you.
Yep, yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's funny. I mean, I understand, like, people want things a certain way. And this is also something that we don't, like, have a topic on it in this podcast, but... it was recently discussed, Bashok was talking about expectations and how people let, like, nostalgia and what they think of the game and then what they expect this to be. They just, like, build up in all this crazy hype, and then when it doesn't happen, they explode in a giant ball of anger. And
yeah, I saw that. That was funny.
Like, this is kind of one of those situations. It's just like, look, man, don't get so worked up about this.
Right.
It's going to be an awesome game, regardless of whether or not you have to level up alternative characters to try new specs. And if that's really what's going to break a game for you, there's
Don't play this.
Path of Exile coming out. There's
Torchlight.
New Torchlight.
Right.
Like, come on, killing me here.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's actually an argument that I would have with people. People were talking about the Diablo art style and how it wasn't dark enough. I was like, why are you on the Diablo forums? Go play
Right.
Path of Exile.
Actually, you know what?
Have a blast. It's going to be great. It's going to be nice and dark for you.
While we're talking about this here, maybe you should just bring this up, because I thought that this thread was hilarious. It's called Time Travel, Diablo 2 forums on development. And it's things that people complained about while Diablo 2 was in beta. And like the first thing is, what, we fight outside? What is this crap? What is this stupid skill tree? You mean I have to be a sorceress to use Fireball? I can't just read a book as my warrior? Right? So like it's just all these different things from Diablo 1 to Diablo 2 that people complained about. Why is it so bright and colorful? Boom. And now everybody nowadays is comparing Diablo 3 to Diablo 2, saying it's nowhere near as dark. Right? So that was a complaint during Diablo 2.
This list is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I read this and I was rolling. I thought this was great. All potions don't insta-heal you. You guys are catering to Care Bears. Like, literally, this has come up I don't know how many times, and here it is again, 10 years ago from Diablo 2. Right? I can't max out my stats with elixirs, but that was such a fun goal. I can't dupe anything at will. Boring, right? How awesome is this?
So yeah, this list is people who played the original Diablo. Diablo 2 is getting developed, and they're like, WTF, you're changing. And this is probably the one that kind of is all encompassing. Second to last. Way to take away everything that made Diablo.
There you go.
You guys are idiots.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, this is the exact same. Like, some of these are even the exact same phrase people are using.
Why so bright and colorful?
Yep, there you go. I had to bring that up. I thought that was way too funny not to, especially because we're on the topic.
Yeah, this is. But the thing to understand too is that this happens when people are just crazy about something.
Yep, and it's going to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen with every Blizzard game as long as Blizzard is continuously putting out quality games that so many people are playing. And there's going to be plenty of naysayers that say Blizzard's on the decline and they're putting out garbage. But you know what? StarCraft 2 is gigantic. World of Warcraft is still the most well-known MMO. Like my mom knows what World of Warcraft is. She has never touched a video game. But you know what I mean? That's the point. Like, WoW is huge. StarCraft is huge. Like, half of the esports community is revolving around StarCraft right now. Blizzard's putting out good products, whether or not you want to admit it. It's happening.
Oh, that's for sure.
As long as Blizzard continues to put out good products when new versions of games are coming out, and we're waiting, we're going to get anxious, and we're going to complain. It'll happen. Some of us more than others, but it'll happen.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's being honest. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm stating a fact. Some people just love to complain and hate change in any form. I
complain about some stuff.
What was that?
I said I complain about some stuff every now and then.
Yes. Well, you are a baby.
What can I say?
Beta patch.
Guess that's all I can say.
Number 13. Beta patch number 13 is supposed to be here now. Where are you, beta patch 13?
Seriously, Blizzard, you guys suck. Why is it so bright and colorful?
Beta patch 13 is it's supposed to be up before this weekend. So I guess right now on the East Coast it's only like 12:30 in the afternoon. But they're trying to get it out some point before this weekend. It may not happen. There was actually let me bring up this here so people can see it. Bioshock recently responded to Mr. Grug. He's still around. He asked whether or not it was still on track for this weekend, and Bioshock said, "We're trying, maybe." And, of course, they are talking about Beta Patch 13, which was announced by Lyra.
Boom.
Yeah. Stating that there's going to be character wipes, as there are with most major beta patches, so expect that. They have no precise ETA, but they're hoping to get it up before the weekend. We have no patch notes yet. Kevin, why don't you check on that, just in case it just came up.
Yeah, right.
No patch notes last we checked.
I don't see anything yet.
And so we don't know what to expect from this. There were a few other things to keep in mind as well. So this beta patch is coming through. I'm sure we'll see some changes, probably various bug fixes and balance changes. Literally every single patch, they like completely rework like 5 or 6 abilities of every single character class. So I'm sure some of that will happen, but hopefully we see some major things. And also, I don't believe it's going to be implemented into the beta. I'm almost 100% sure that it won't be. But we're supposed to be getting some information on the runestone system. It's been stated that that's actually going to come. They're going to get an article sometime at or near the release of patch 13, which again is supposed to be today or this weekend.
Yep, runestone system and chat channels. Bashak had even said that chat channels will be in the beta, so we can even play around with them. And I guess not just chat channels, but any other chat/BattleNet features. So, I'm hoping patch 13, but I don't know. I guess I won't hold my breath just in case they have like patch 14 and patch 15 and so on. But hopefully soon.
Should, at the very least, we'll have something to be excited about, and that's going to be some more information on the runestone system. And the fact that they're even letting us know that they're planning to release an article on it with this patch means they're probably done or near finishing the development of it.
Yep. I mean, they did say that they're aiming for quarter 2, so April, May, or June, which would mean that, I mean, if it's coming in April, they have to announce the game sometime in March.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the latest they could potentially announce it is April's. But, I mean, that's only 2 months away. Like, think about it. We've been waiting since, like, August. Or even before then, like, July. Because we all thought that the game was going to be announced at that conference call. So, or an announcement was going to be released. So,
exactly.
2 months won't kill us, especially since we probably shouldn't die until December. So, so 2 months won't kill us, but 10 will.
Who is that? The Mayans? Is that was it that crazy group of people that's predicting the world's ending?
Yeah, crazy people, and Nostradamus.
Nostradamus as well.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy.
What did he ever do?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, beta patch 13. Looking forward to it. More information on the runestone system. I'm excited. Not even really gonna bother speculating. I thought we'd maybe go into some speculation about the runestone system, but I don't know where they're going. It's been changed so much. I say it now. When they first introduced the runestone system, that was perfect.
Yeah, right.
I was happy with their initial implementation of it.
And then they changed it, and we still talked about how perfect it was.
I just, I mean, I don't know. I think that if they go back to what they initially planned, that you've got the 5 different rune types, and they'll drop in their various levels, their various stages. I think there's 7 total. Is that right?
Yep.
So you get a Crimson Room, level 1 through 7. Increases in effectiveness, obviously, as it increases in level, and then you just put it in whatever skill you want. And as long as they can implement some way that will let you see what it's going to do, or if they don't let you see what it's going to do, then let you pull out a runestone and use it again.
Right, just be able to pop and swap them. That way you don't have to. That way, it's like not permanently stuck. I mean, the only change that I would be okay with, and I guarantee I've said this before, was if they kept it like that and then allowed a random affix or something along those lines, just to keep me on my feet. Always keep me looking for better
new one,
runestones. Right. So I mean, so it has the pros from the old system where I could just pop and swap them and I'm not stuck with something that I don't want. And at the same time, it also brings along the pros of the new system that they were talking about, which I guess they scrapped for something else that we don't know about. But
And the thing is, too, like, I understand Diablo's all about randomization. Randomized gear, randomized pockets in the levels. Like, I understand that. That makes perfect sense to me. But the issue I have with 100% randomizing the runestones, like having blank runestones drop, is the fact that the runestone system is supposed to take the place of skill trees, kind of, in a sense. Like, because the runestones drastically change your abilities, it's taking the place of you specifically picking what you want your character to be like. So that means you have like a random build. You're not necessarily going to get what you want. Say I really want a Crimson room in my leap attack for my barbarian. Well, I might not get that forever. I mean, not forever, but it might take a very long time to get that. As opposed to if we had skill trees, I could spec into it as long as I worked through the tree, And that's kind of weird. Like, you can't. I feel like it's kind of wrong to make that 100% random because that's also taking away the player's ability to do what they want. And Blizzard in this game is all about letting players do what they want.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. Hell, this is you and I were going back and forth with Jay Wilson on this at the press event when he first talked about how this idea they hadn't even implemented it yet. He was just food for thought for us. So I mean, I completely agree with you. For that exact reason. I mean, like you said, I mean, obviously each one would have a 20% chance to, form into whatever type of rune. But I mean, let's say I go through 10 of them just because I just never get the one I want,
Yeah.
So I'm completely right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, it just, again, it's fine if there's the random, I think what you're saying, that having a random affix attached to it as well, so that there's still the randomization for it, that's fine, that's great, that sounds good. But to not have the option of getting, abilities that you want because it's just never dropping, that's ridiculous. I guess that'd be a way to force us to use the auction house to find the runestones to get the abilities that we wanted, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and that's what I mean. Supposedly, that's what they want us to use. They want us to use the auction house, but I don't know, like that. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I would hate for that to be the case. I don't mind trading for items and whatnot, but having to trade just in order to get to use the skills that I want, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's to get skills. It's not to get a new piece of gear. It's to get skills. Like, it seems like a weird way to gate abilities. That's all I'm trying to say. It seems like a very odd way to gate someone's access to abilities, to have to force them to trade for something. Which, again, would be the case, because if you just don't get that random drop, then you are forced to trade for a rune just to use an ability.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, it is. It is. And again, that's literally what it is. It's not like the runestones are a piece of gear. Getting a runestone is like a new ability for you. It's like, we could even consider it's almost like having like a skill book drop for you. It's almost the same thing,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Changes to the auction house coming up. Some things that I'm actually really excited about. I think they're taking some steps in the right direction. Mainly the biggest thing that they have done is removed the listing fee. Hallelujah. It's about time. That was going to be a huge headache for a lot of people. The listing fee, whenever you put an item up, you'd have to pay. So what if it doesn't sell? You're screwed. Well, Blizzard decided that's probably a bad idea, and they decided to change that. A couple of major changes will be coming to the Diablo III auction house, making their way into the beta, and then if it goes well and if they like the outcome, then it'll make its way live. Listing fee has been removed. Transaction fee is being increased to $1.25, or I guess they're saying 1.25 beta bucks here. The minimum listing price is 150 beta bucks, 1.50, and you are limited to 10 active auctions per auction house. So you can only have 10 auctions active at a time. Too many A's. Almost couldn't do it. You can only have 10 active auctions at any given time. So let's talk about this for a moment. The removal of the listing fee. This is huge. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool because now there's only, just 2 fees you have to pay.
I mean, the fee, it's still the same amount of fee. When you look at the transaction fee, I believe that the two combined equal, I don't remember what the...
Actually, yeah, I think it was like 0.65 and 5.5, I want to say.
Sure.
Or something along those lines. But yeah, I mean, within 5/100ths of a beta buck, you've got to be correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so they've got the amount that they want there, but at least now it's only going to happen if you actually make a sale. If a transaction actually takes place, then you will be deducted the transaction fee. Removing the listing fee is awesome. And now people are going to say, well, is this going to be an issue when it comes to farmers? They're trying to combat farmers by only allowing 10 active auctions per auction house. That's a big limitation. That is a very big limitation that farmers will be furious.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's kind of a shame. I don't really think I really like that.
Well, I think the thing with this is also making it so that we're not going to be putting crap on the auction house. For the same reason, like the minimum listing price makes it so that we're not putting garbage on the auction house, I think that limiting the number of auctions will do the same thing. That might be a little low. 10 seems kind of low. Maybe 20, 30-ish would be more reasonable. I mean, thinking back on the WoW auction house, I definitely had more than 10 active auctions at a time.
Yeah, I mean, like, what if I just have 10 sets of gold just because I'm just trying to get rid of some gold, maybe I want to sell gold for cash. I mean, obviously, everybody's probably going to try and do that. And because the auction house is random, it's just going to pull the lowest one. So if I just throw 10 gold auctions up there, can't do anything else.
But, I mean, to combat... Like, this is amazing to combat farmers.
I completely agree with you. That's definitely good, but at the same time, why would we want to combat farmers? I mean,
Well, because
yeah, they kind of make money, but
the idea is that it makes the marketplace sucky for everyone else because farmers are like undercutting everybody.
true, they're undercutting everybody, but you as a buyer don't know who you're buying from, so all you see is, hey, here's all the items that I want. Now I can go ahead and buy all of them.
Well, it would affect the sellers, Kevin.
Right. It would most certainly affect the sellers. So as a seller, you just have to kind of compete.
You can't. I think that's the argument. I mean, yes, you can. It's not impossible. It happens. But I think that the argument that people are stating is the fact that, you know, because they can flood the market and mark everything down so much, it makes it nearly impossible to sell. And that's remedied here as well. And actually, you know, maybe now that you bring that up, it's maybe not as much of an issue without the listing fee, because in the past, if you got undercut and your item didn't sell, that blew.
Yeah.
Because you lost money. But now there's no listing fee, so if you get undercut, you just have to repost it. Maybe it's tedious, but you're not losing any money in the process.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I kind of helped you get to that point, and I didn't even mean to.
No, I mean, I think it works. Yeah, I think it works. I think it's good.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I agree with that. So again, combating farmers really wouldn't be a bad thing from anybody's perspective. I mean, obviously, as a seller, it'll be harder for you to sell stuff, but you don't lose out on anything other than the potential to make some money, I guess.
Yeah.
Or gold. But I mean, at the same time, as a buyer, like, I guess it's kind of sucky because I mean, I'm looking to sell some stuff too. I mean, I know I've said this before, but I at least want to pay off my collector's edition somehow. You know, I don't care how long it takes me, but yeah,
people are definitely gonna make like whatever. What's a collector's edition? 120 or something?
$100.
$100.
So.
I think over the course of the lifetime of playing Diablo 3, you'll make $100.
Yeah, I kind of.
You might also lose 200, but
yeah, right.
You'll also make some of it back. Yeah, I'm really excited about these changes. I think that overall, it's definitely a move in the right direction. I think removing the listing fee was gigantic. A little iffy about the 10 active auctions per auction house. I understand the reason behind it. I like 10 is restrictive to the average user, let alone the farmer. I think if you were to go to about 20 or 30, that'd be a little more reasonable. And it would still be very restrictive for farmers who want to put up hundreds and hundreds of auctions at a time, you know?
Right. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, in essence, I agree with the limit. Just a little bit higher would be nice.
Indeed. And that does it. Just looking over my list. I'm like, oh, that's really all of it. That is everything in terms of major topics for today. And as we always do, go ahead and answer some community questions. And let me grab one of these for you to answer, Kevin. Kevin, why don't you answer this? I'm going to bring up some music for us to answer questions too.
Sure.
First question from Nicholas, asking, why didn't they have 5-player co-op so you could have one of each class in your game? Kevin, go.
I mean, that's just because actually originally they intended for 6 players, I think, at a time. But they just, if you think back to Diablo 2, most of the time all 8 players were not playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo 1 was only 4 players, and most of the time all 4 players were playing together. The reasoning behind not allowing 5 for all 5 classes, I mean, I guess there's several reasons, but the one that really sticks out to me is just the fact that there really aren't 5 classes. There's what, like 9 billion classes? Because every class could potentially be, like, I mean, I can make a battle mage, which you can call warrior if you want to. Like, a battle mage, it's not really the same thing as a regular wizard, just because it completely changes up the playstyle. So, I mean, I don't know, there's just, I wouldn't say to increase the cap to 5. Like, I don't think I could justify increasing the player cap to 5 players to include 5 classes, because there's a hell of a lot more than just 5 classes that could potentially be played, just with all the variety. But the reasoning for 4 is just because, I guess, more than 4, there's just way too much going on the screen at one time.
Well, yeah, that's specifically what they said, was that if we tried 5 and it was just too much stuff going on. Sorry, it's gonna be
right. I mean, imagine 5 witch doctors.
Right.
Like, you know how many pets that is? That's way too many.
And it's not just people are going to immediately point to Arena and say, that's 4v4. The thing is that in Arena, you don't have hundreds of enemies on your screen. Hundreds of enemies.
Right, yeah,
so.
exactly.
So yes, it's going to be 4. It is going to be 4 because of the fact that they felt it was a little too cluttered visually. I'm sure people will disagree with that. People do disagree with that, but that's what they've decided on, and I don't see that changing, to be honest. Maybe in an expansion, maybe they change their minds, but their reason behind it means that they shouldn't change their mind, unless that wasn't really their reason.
Right, exactly.
Because screen clutter's not going to get any less when the expansions come out, so.
Right.
Yes,
with that
indeed. Another quick question, or did you have something, Kevin?
Yeah, why you keep cutting me off like a big meanie head? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I just wanted to add on to that, what you just said, if they increase it in expansions. I mean, if you think about it, let's say they do go ahead and add it, up the cap to 5, just so 5 classes can be played. Well, in the expansion, if they add 2 more classes, then what happens? Are they going to up it to 7, just so all 7 classes can be played? That just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Food for thought.
Right.
Now you can go on, Dennis.
Oh, this is a pretty quick one as well. Chris asks, I have been unable to find info about soul binding. Will there be BOE and BOP items in D3? No. Nothing is bound to anyone. You can sell whatever you wear and wear whatever you sell. Well, you can't wear it once you've sold it, but you can sell whatever you've worn at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Quick question here from Marcus as well. Do you think there will be long cooldown skills in the game, i.e. 2 minutes? I think they're very rare in endgame if they are not lowering the cooldowns or make the effects last longer. So some of the later tier abilities have longer cooldowns. For example, particularly ability that I'm going to use is Wrath of the Berserker for the Barbarian. Turns you into a god, and it has a little bit of a lengthier cooldown. So
I'm actually really excited for the Archon for the Wizard.
Right.
That's going to be really cool to use.
Right. Yeah, that's another example of a ability that's the later tier, and by later tier I mean abilities that you lock at later levels. Some of them do have cooldowns, just because they'd be crazy ridiculous without them. The idea is that they wanted you to have very, very, very strong spells, but obviously nothing that you can spam like you can a basic attack. So they just throw a little bit of a longer cooldown. But yes, they will exist. They will be in the game. All right.
Yep.
Next question.
I'm looking up here. Is it functional for Macs?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yes.
No, I mean, I just like I said, I get this question way too many times.
Question from Dominic. Now that D3 will be aimed for Q2 of this year, do you think there's a possibility that at PAX East there could be a date revealed, as well as many other content or gameplay we've not seen before? I don't expect much more content and gameplay, and I don't think PAX East would be the place to show like the runestone system, because most people there would be like, what?
I don't even think Blizzard's going to be at PAX East.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Blizzard normally doesn't attend conventions. If they do, PAX East is a great place to announce things.
I mean, I would say if they go at all, they'd probably go to PAX Prime. Because,
or,
I mean,
you know what,
closer.
E3 too, I mean, that's...
And E3, but I mean, yes, Blizzard normally doesn't attend conventions, but that's because they have BlizzCon at the end of the year. They have their own convention, which they're not doing this year, so I'm hoping they're going to PAX Prime or E3 or something along those lines.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think of it, I don't think PAX East would be the place to announce it.
Yeah.
That's just like PAX is amazing, PAX is great, but E3 is like for example, next console announcements, like we might be hearing about it, the next Xbox console at E3, not at PAX East.
Right, exactly.
So I guess the point is like major announcements are more likely to come from that. But again, I don't necessarily think that E3 is a place to announce Diablo 3's release date. I don't know. I could be wrong though. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Yeah. They're never going to announce the release date ever.
No, that's right, actually. David asks, with the Real Money Auction House, has Blizzard promised that they won't delete accounts based on inactivity? I think that's a yes, Kevin?
Yep, that's a yes.
Yeah, so if you don't use your account for a while, they won't be deleting it. That would obviously be an issue, because people's money would be on that.
Actually, I do remember reading in the Battle.net Balance FAQ that if your account's inactive, they might have to wipe the Battle.net balance, depending on certain local laws or something along those lines. There's no specifics, probably because they don't know just yet, but I'm assuming that legal does know that those laws exist somewhere, so I would say be careful with that.
This is a good question, because you actually asked me this before our podcast today, Kevin. I got asked what kind of videos on Diablo 3 I'll be producing once the game comes out. So in terms of coverage from me, I plan to do kind of like PvP focused stuff. I'm probably going to be talking about PvP builds, compositions, good arena teams basically, and then probably some random PvE guides wherever it's necessary. I mean, obviously the game's pretty simple, so if any of the boss fights are rather technical or whatever, we'll probably do some general guides for that. But yeah, besides that, we'll still be doing the podcast here with Kevin.
Yep.
And I know, Kevin, you got some stuff that you're going to be doing as well. I don't know if you're ready to announce that yet, but you do have stuff coming.
Yeah, I mean, just generally, I'll probably be doing like daily web shows. I mean, similar to, I hate to say this, but the Day 9 Daily for StarCraft 2, if anybody watches StarCraft.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, something similar to that, just for Diablo, obviously.
Yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely still going to keep up on Diablo 3 after release, amongst other things. Yeah, but that's exciting. And I guess that'll do it, unless you have any more Kevin's questions, Kevin.
I got plenty of Kevins. I don't know about the questions.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of DiabloCast. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. When it comes to Beta Key giveaway, because people probably have been asking throughout the course of this live stream here, just sit tight. I'll announce it on my Twitter or Facebook whenever the daily winners are announced. And lastly, you will get an email from me if you win a key. So if you don't have an email from me, I'm sorry, you didn't win this round. Stay tuned tomorrow. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. For Kevin, this has been Dennis, and I guess we'll see you next week.
Take it easy, everybody.
I don't guess. I know. I mean, we'll be here.
I mean,
unless
will
the
I
world
be here,
ends.
Dennis? Will I be here? I certainly hope so.
Well, you know, there's no excuse. It was my fault last week. I'm sorry, guys. Kevin wasn't here last week.
No, it's all good.
He'll be here next week. Again, unless the world ends.
I'll be here. Even if the world ends, I'll be here.
I'll see ya.